Hello and welcome to the next episode of Final Fantasy How To. In this episode, I will be covering Dynamis and what I refer to as Dynamis version 2, even though I've never seen it called that. So for those that don't know, Dynamis, it's sort of like an instance zone from other MMOs, but not really. It's hard to describe. Basically, it's a zone to where, in the past, alliances, roughly like 2 alliances or 36 people will go in and farm currency that they can sell or use for relic upgrades like relic weapons or relic armor. To get into Dynamis, you need to be level 65 or higher, into farm version 2, which I'll get into, probably 99 to do it effectively. You can do it before, but it's just easier. So, in the Rise of the Zillart expansion pack, you need to complete mission 5-2 for any nation, obtain a vial of shrouded sand key item and an hourglass key item. In the past, the hourglass key item cost 1 million gil and was it cost 1 million gil to enter Dynamis, and you had to pay that every time you enter Dynamis, and then the leader, whoever's paying for it, has to distribute the item to everybody that's entering, and then they trade it to the question mark, or trail markings or hieroglyphics. That's changed, and with Rhapsodies of Vanadiel key item, well, that's changed. Forget the Rhapsodies of Vanadiel. So now you just buy the key item once for 50,000 gil, and then you can enter Dynamis every day. That's what it used to be. You could only enter Dynamis every Japanese midnight, so if you entered now, you would have to wait to Japanese midnight, which is like noon Eastern Standard, to enter it again. That's changed with the Rhapsodies of Vanadiel key item, which allows you to enter immediately afterwards as many times as you want. Yeah, to farm or whatever. So what you need to do in order to enter Dynamis is, once you have met all the criteria and the prerequisites, zone into Zarkabard by any means, teleport Vazel, I guess that's how you pronounce it, I don't know, will work, and then after that you get a cutscene. Examine one of the 4 city trail markings in any of the 4 cities, and you get another cutscene, and then buy the hourglass from the goblins in Badu, Davoy, and Castle Ostroja. And then once you, as you buy the key items, they also sell maps, which I don't have because I'm an idiot. I highly recommend you buy the maps, and then you can enter Dynamis. So, old Dynamis, historically Dynamis was done by in-game link shells with 2 or more alliances, 36 people, where they would farm relic armor, or what's colloquially referred to as AF2. AF1 is referring colloquially to artifact, which is artifact armor. It's level 52 to 60, or 52 to 60, and this relic is in the 70s. So the more in link shells, relic armor items would drop, and link shells would allow people to lot on them. like buy lotting rights with points that they accrue. And you accrue points by doing other runs, just attending. And then after a while, you can start lotting on stuff you need. It used to cost 1 million gil per run. But with the Rhapsodies of Vana'diel key item, or with Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, you can enter as many times as you want, and they introduced a key item not affiliated with Rhapsodies of Vana'diel that allow you to buy the hourglass for 50,000 once and just have it forever. So the timeline is muddy. I can't find like a line in the sand, but SC introduced a procking system into Dynamis, and that's where I gave it the version 2 name. Procking just means that you force the enemy, or you force an effect upon the enemy. So what you would do is there's 5 time extensions, and I'm fighting one now. You kill them, you get a key item that allows you to stay longer in Dynamis, whereas if you didn't, you could just stay for an hour. You get all 5 of them, you can stay for 2 hours. And then if you get 3 or more of these, you will at 3 or more have the lowest possible chance of proccing the monster. So you enter Dynamis, and then you get all the key items, and then you start procking. And procking is done, it depends on the zone and the time of day, but it's usually, it's not usually, it's always a job ability, a magic ability, or a weapon skill. So someone that wants to farm Dynamis to get, more drops would come in, kill all the time extensions to get the highest proc rate, and then just spam the ability, fight the monsters they want to proc, and then just spam that ability until it procs. And the reason, or the way you will know if it's procced, 2 exclamation points will appear above its head, and then the in-text notification will read like the Goblin Ronin, or the Vanguard Ronin, is staggered. So once that's done, the monster will be temporarily unable to move. And then because it's procced, it adds another drop. Adds another drop slot for them to drop currency or armor. Well, it doesn't affect armor. Pretty sure. So to explain procking is like, for instance, if I use Fire 3 and it does 3,000 damage, I would say like it procced for 3,000 damage. Or another hypothetical is like if you use Treasure Hunter and I think it just did. Yeah. See, it says Treasure Hunter effectiveness rose to 5. That means Treasure Hunter has procced. And that just means I've forced the effect of Treasure Hunter onto the monster by doing a certain action. Once you get all the time extensions, and so there's a trick, because time extensions are statue monsters. They look like statues. So these Sergeant Tombstones, they would assume that's the proc monster. Sergeant Tombstones aren't, because they check incredibly easy prey. But if you see a statue and it checks impossible to gauge, that is the monster that you need to kill for it to proc. Or to get the time extension and the ability to proc. And this pool is going to be somewhat sketchy. Let's see if I can just go in and weapon skill him. Well, I didn't kill him, so that's cool, I guess. And aggroed this guy. So once you get the 5 time extensions, you just rinse and repeat, spamming the ability that your job uses to proc the monster until it does. And then I'm on Thief, so what I do personally is I proc the monster, it's stunned, I go behind it and I use Sneak Attack, which increases the Treasure Hunter rate, and Treasure Hunter increases the rate of drops that you get. So I proc it, I get more drops. Treasure Hunter hit, I proc Treasure Hunter, I get even more drops. So I'm at 4 time extensions. This is Dynamis Fulcrum Dunes, and the god you'll do City Dynamis first. So this is Dreamland Dynamis, which is different than City or normal Dynamis. As you enter Dreamland Dynamis, it will say, do you want to like have your sub job or not? If you restrict your sub job, you get a 1% chance to proc white, and procking white means that it's a guaranteed 100 currency drop. I've really never done that. I've always just kept my sub job, because if I didn't back there, I probably would have died. I know a lot of people that don't. They've had success at farming and making it worthwhile. So I basically farm Dreamland Dynamises, and the way the time extensions are spread out is there's one at every monster camp. So a conglomeration of monsters, there's a time extension within that, up to the 4th time extension. Then the 5th one is scattered randomly among like 3 different possible spawns. So then you just use wide scan, which shows all the mobs around you, monsters, and then you find it and sort of like hone in on it and kill it. So that's what I'm doing. And then once I get the 5th one, the 5th time extension, I'll show you how to proc. Okay. Well, wasn't paying attention to my sneak invisible. Probably gonna die. Hopefully not. Please no. You gotta pay attention, Dynamis, or bad things happen. So the Ordell bronze piece that just dropped, that is a currency drop, and you can sell that for, like, depending on the market and the server and the demand, I've seen anywhere from 3,000 to 7,000 gil, and you sell that on in your bazaar, because you can't sell it on the auction house. I'm Thief / Dancer, because Thief gives me Treasure Hunter, and / Dancer is one of the easiest jobs to proc with in a fast amount of time. And like, this is a basic overview of farming Dynamis. When I go set out to farm, I will fight 2 monsters simultaneously, proc one, then proc the other, and then kill them in order that I proc them. So I'm constantly fighting and procking, increasing, instead of pretty much doubling the amount of monsters I proc or fight, whereas if I did it single monsters. Okay, so you saw the exclamation point? That was a mistake, or an accident. Exclamation point, and it said it's staggered. That is a proc. It just so happens at this time of day or night, the Trents, the giant trees, are weapon skill proccable. It's hard to keep track of everything. I've pretty much farmed Dynamis Valkyrum exclusively, and I have to look at a map to figure out where the time extensions are. I have an iOS app that displays the time. I mean, there's a web page to do it, but like the iOS app, you can select the monster you want to farm based on what it drops, and then um, it'll display what times the different procs are. So it'll be like this hour to this hour is job ability. This hour to this hour is magic or weapon skill. And I'll link the maps and the gods to Dynamis and all that in the description of the video, because like this video is a basic overview. There's a lot that I'm keeping out because if I didn't, it'd be hours long. So I'll link all the necessary and relevant information in the video, in the description of the video. I don't know if I'm gonna get the 5th time extension. You don't, by any means, oh yeah, I might. Yeah, here he is. You don't have to get 5. You can do it realistically with 4. I get 5. Just to be done with it. I think I deleted the... Yeah, I deleted the app from my phone, so... I'll just go to one of my camps and then download it. So cities, city Dynamises, the monsters are really, I don't know how to word this. In city Dynamises, you don't have to worry about time. It's by job ability. So, and it's in the god. Actually, I could probably just tell you right now while I'm walking. So, monsters that require, for city Dynamis, weapon skills are the enemies that are warrior paladins, dark knights, samurai, and dragoons. The enemies that require job ability are monk, thief, ranger, beastmaster, ninja, and the magic proc are red mage, white mage, black mage, bard, and summoner. So it gets super confusing. Job ability in Valkyrim are flies, fly traps, and fungars. The flies are down at the beach, if I remember correctly. I should have my run speed boots on. I do, never mind. And this lasts till... Never mind, it just switched to weapon skill for those mobs. So hippogriffs, which are over here, are job ability. And it takes a while to get used to procking. So I'll just hit the enemy to gain TP in order to use the job ability that procs them, and I won't attempt to kill them, but some I just kill too fast and I can't proc everything. I try to, but you're gonna miss a couple. And then once I proc them, depending on their health, I'll apply treasure hunter. If they're super low in health, I'll just kill them, whatever. So, Relic, the armor that you saw, the Warriors Caligay, that dropped. Did it? Did I not get it? Thought I got it. Yeah, I did. Okay. That is a warrior relic. And okay, I forgot to mention this. The thing with relic and artifact armor is it's really good for the job that can wear it. It's job specific equipment, so only one job can wear it, and it has good stats specifically built for that job. So that's why people would farm it. And then the same with relic. And then the coins that drop are used to build relic weapons, which is this whole involved process that I'm not going to get into because you have to get like an insane amount of currency and special items. I think if you were to just buy all the items that you need, currency wise, it would cost like about 100 million gil, or you could farm it. And I know of somebody that farmed relic within a month, and this was before you could enter Dynamis simultaneous consecutively. That's it. So they'd farm, wait till Japanese midnight, farm for a solid month. Exclamation points are procced. So get behind him, use sneak attack, should apply treasure hunter. Nope, cool. So yeah, they did that for a whole month and got a relic within a month. Relic weapons used to be like the best in the game until they increased level cap to 99, and some of them still remain the best in the game. But it's a lot of work. Like I said before, I highly suggest you look up the maps for the zone that you're going into, because it displays, or it should display, where all the mobs are, where the time extensions are. I just googled like Final Fantasy Dynamis Valkyrie farm map or something, but I'll link it in the description for this zone. But the first zones that you will encounter in Dynamis are the cities. You have to, well, you might encounter Dreamland first. I encountered cities first, as like a 65 monk, not knowing what to do, just standing there and being embarrassing. My link shell's like, Silver, don't attack things, you'll get wrecked. And I was like, bruh, no I won't, I'm 65, get at me. And then I attacked things and got wrecked. And I highly recommend using a re-raise item, which you can buy, and then when you die it'll allow you to re-raise. In case you get a bad pull and something doesn't work out, you can just re-raise, run off, heal, pop the item again, and get back to farming. So the reason I made this video is that in the link shell and then on the subreddit, I see a lot of people, how do I farm Dynamis? I want the gil, like, and we tried explaining it to them in link shell and it doesn't work, or on the subreddit and they still have questions, which obviously, so they're very dense and hard to understand. I'd love to, cover everything in this video, but it'd be hours. It took me a solid year, no joke, a year to understand Dynamis 1. None of this procking, time extension, none of that. Just go in, kill monsters. Took me a year, because link shells have different ways to go about doing it, different pull rates, different camps, different setups. Um, and it took me a while to understand Dynamis version 2, what I'm doing right now. And the only reason I could understand that in a short while is because the Abyssi expansion pack that I guess was before this, Dynamis update, whatever, had a similar procking system. Before then, I mean, I heard of like treasure hunter procs, but that was like lore, like if elemental staves helped you during synthesis. Some people say they do, some people say they don't. Because you never had like a visual representation of treasure hunter taking place, procking, having an effect like you do now. You hit it, it turns gold, it says treasure hunter level 5. Okay, cool, we have treasure hunter on it. Before then, we just throw thieves at it and hope. Just be like, yeah, attack it sometimes, maybe, whatever, might work. But now they have like a representation, like you know, which is cool. Procced it. So it's procced, and then I have treasure hunter on it, so we should get a solid amount of drops from this, hopefully. Now I could like add gear like this, which will increase my treasure hunter. Some people say it works. Some people don't. Theoretically, it should work. I'm just lazy. So, I don't really care about Dynamis. Like, I'm at that point in the game, it's like, well, maybe. Probably not, because it's awful. Just doing this for 2 hours by yourself. Because you can't use trust in Dynamis. So, 2 hours of this. Don't get me wrong, it's fun initially. When you're a new player, you're like, yeah, just unlock this content. I'm going to go in. Yeah, never seen some of these monsters before. I'm going to kill them. It wears off. Especially if you play Dynamis the old way. And that's partly why I'm making this video, for new players and for old players that may want to come back or just see how it's changed. If I was like Dynamis, it'd be like, yeah, I've done that hundreds of times. I'm not watching this. But because they added this new mechanic system, it makes it better. But I kind of miss the old days of like the alliance, like working together. And maybe you might get a drop, maybe not. Like in the past, you would get, I don't even know, like maybe 100 currents. No, I want to say that's too high. Maybe 100 currencies, maybe 10 relic. Now people are doing 500, 600 currencies, one run by themselves, like 20, 25 relic pieces, which they throw away because they don't need them. But if you're just starting out, when you get to Dynamis, farm your relic, because if you want to reforge that, you already have it. You don't have to like, oh, I want to reforge this. Oh, okay, cool. I got to go to Dynamis Bass Stock and deal with that. You just get it out of the way as you are progressing, or like kill time with friends, dick around. I recommend it. And procking, to my knowledge, doesn't affect relic armor drop rates. So if you're just doing that, I recommend getting the 5 time extensions, just so you have more time. And then it doesn't hurt to proc the monsters, because you could always just get more money. And just, yeah. I think that's it. So, if you're like level 65 and you want to do Dynamis, I recommend that you bring a friend or a person in your link shell to sort of show you the ropes, because there's certain ways you need to like walk in order to not aggro true sight notorious monsters, or true sight monsters, which these hippogriffs are true sight, meaning you can use sneak and invisible, but invisible doesn't work and they're just going to aggro you. So you have to sort of like learn how to navigate. And then if you're 65 and you fight a monster, you're just going to get wrecked. Like, you're just going to get one-shotted and you're going to be dead. And no one's going to raise you. Well, I don't want to say that. So before you could do simultaneously or consecutive Dynamises, people that died would just be like, hey, can someone come raise me? And if someone were to come raise them, they would have to wait. That person would have to wait till Japanese midnight in order to do Dynamis again. Or if they had already done Dynamis like an hour ago, they can't go in and raise them. But now that you can just enter as many times as you want, you might get raised if like a friend in your link shell is bored or wants to help you. But I recommend just taking a 99. Like, they're gonna be able to, or they're gonna be able to help you. And I said just take a 99. It's not like, if you want to roll, you know, like 2004 Dynamis with the Alliance of 75, that's awesome. Tell me when, because I want to do that. But if you're not, just get a friend. And they'll, like, I've helped people just farm relic or just kill the zone boss so they can move on to another Dynamis zone. Because in Dreamland, you have to like, no. So you have to like complete the city Dynamises to enter other certain Dynamises. You have to complete those to enter like the in Dreamland, in all the Dynamises, and kill the bosses within them, which you just kill notorious monsters. You get an item and you pop them and you kill them. You get a key item. You have to complete all of those to get Dynamis Tavnasia, which I've never done, because it's just that I don't need anything from it. So my procking is sloppy because I'm trying to talk and read and think at the same time. I was gonna say it's probably past the time for these monsters, but I was wrong. Yeah, I think that's it, really. I hope this helps or makes sense or is good. It just, I always struggle with these videos, right? And I've told my LS and a lot of friends this, and people on the subreddits. They're like, what? Just, you know, what? Tell new players to read gods, which I'll link all of those in the description, and I'll probably do a short video on how to like search for Final Fantasy information. They're like, just you have them read the gods. Well, that's not, I mean, it's helping, but barely, right? Because the gods are created by players for players using language of the game that new players aren't going to be able to understand. I'm not, like, if I just gave you the guide, you'd be like, what's weakness targeting? What are key items? So that's mainly why I've done this series. Like, I'm gonna, and it's hard because I've been playing for a decade, and just every, like, 99% of the game and the terminology and the jargon and the mechanics are all second nature to me. I could just do them reflexively. So it's hard to think or have a viewpoint of a new player and sort of like guess what their questions are or what they need help with and make relevant videos on those, it's extremely hard. That's why I've asked LS or like people I talk to, or even on the subreddits, like, hey, if you're new, what do you need help with? Or if what do you think would be a good video? And what I'd actually like to do is like a Q&A. That way, like over a Skype call or even through the text in the game, it's just like a new player will ask me questions and I'll answer them and I put the video on YouTube. If they're okay with that, like if we do Skype, if they're okay with their voice. If not, then I'll just be like, so and so says this. Like in Let's Players, read your comments sort of thing. Also, yeah. So that's, if you are watching this and you have a question, leave a comment. So I will answer it. If you're on a Sura and you need help with anything, just tell me /tell my name. Hi, I need help. And I'm pretty much that's all I do in this game is just help people because it's fun. It's like I could just be like that elitist guy that's like, oh, I'm gonna get all my armor and just whatever, guys. I'm not gonna help anybody once I got my armor. Well, it's just get a private server and play by yourself. That's why play an MMO if you're not gonna like better the community and environment that you're in. That's just, it's selfish and stupid. So if you need help and I'm online, talk to me. Just randomly be like, hey, I saw your video. Explain this more. I won't bite, I promise. If you need help with a certain thing, leave a comment. PM me on Reddit. Same name as my character name. Post in the Final Fantasy subreddit, which I'll link in the description. If you like the video, like it. Physically on YouTube, like click the like button. Because, okay, so real quick, just real talk. A lot of YouTubers say click the like button. And a lot of people think it's for like search optimization and like it, whatever makes you featured. It does. But that's not, I don't care. Like it if you like the video so that I know my content is addressing the problems of new players, old players, and if I need to change things. Like, I had a friend in my link shell. He's probably been playing 1 to 2 years, I'd guess. He doesn't seem like brand new. I asked him to look over my script. And like if I missed, well, now you know that my show's scripted. Ooh, well, it's not really scripted. It's like notes of things I need to follow, or I'm just going to talk randomly. Whatever. Told him to read my quote script. And he read it and was like, whoa, you can enter Dynamis unlimited times if you have the Rhapsody's of Vana'diel key item. He didn't know that, and he's been playing, I'd guess, like 2 years. And it's just like, researching this, like writing my notes, there was a lot of things like, I'm not sure, and I've been playing for 10 years. Like don't worry. I'm not going to pretend I know everything, because I don't. The link shell helps. The Reddit link shell. The subreddit. They help. Friends. Or we're like, hey, you should do this video. Because I obviously don't know everything. So like the video if you like it. If you need help or have any questions, leave a comment. Tell me in game. Message me on Reddit. Subscribe if you like the content. If you want to help with like, I don't know how to phrase this. If you want to help me with future videos of like game mechanics, like alliance and party size game mechanics, like in-game content or delve with in-game content like Delve or Skirmish, if you want to help, and I will cite you for helping, obviously, comment or leave a tell, PM me, and I'll add you as a friend, and then we'll plan the video and hopefully help others. So yeah, thanks for watching. All the links of the sites, general sites for Final Fantasy information, specific information from those sites about Dynamis and weakness targeting, the link to the mobile app that I use, the iOS app for Dynamis, the subreddit, Reddit link shell, the subreddit, FFXI, will all be in the description below. Thanks for watching.